Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Owning Your Outdoors. Joining me, as always, Mr. Doug Shroeder from Lewis, and we're kind of getting into the fall season here today, Doug. And what are we kind of getting into? I see a couple of fire pits.
Yes, it's perfect time of the year for fire pits. The evenings are getting cooler, and it's time to, do some gathering around fire pit. It makes a perfect evening just outside.
I would definitely agree with that. I had a fire pit back home, but one thing that's really kind of important before you light the fires, some of these safety tips.
Yes, it's very important. If you're going to have an event, make it safe. Go through all the safety regulations, and one thing I think you should start out with is the city ordinance.
Yes, that's very good. And obviously we're in Sioux Falls here, so we have our own specific ordinances, but this kind of depends on what city that you live in, right?
Correct. We're throughout the whole state, and everybody has different rules. Some towns don't have rules at all, but important to check out. You don't want a ticket for your event. Make sure that you're abiding with what the city says. A lot of cities say 15 feet, but my recommendation is 25 feet from any structure. Just a little bit more safe, a little bit more margin for error.
You'd say err on the side of caution.
Evidently, yes. You need to do that all the time. Otherwise, it could turn a nice event into a bad one.
Yeah, especially when you are not really playing with fire, but when you have anything that involves fire.
Right.
Another good thing to point out, this is my favorite point, I think, Doug, checking the forecast.
That's right. They need to be watching you and finding out what's going on. If you're predicting high winds, maybe it's a good night not to have a fire pit.
Right, and we do often forecast for fire weather, especially when the season has been a little bit drier too.
Yes, oh yes. There's a lot of regulations or people, the state saying that fires are not permitted.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we kind of went through the safety tips and also checking the weather, a very important tip there. How do you kind of go about starting these fires? Is there any type of wood specifically that you would suggest?
Wood, yes. There's all sorts of things. I wanted to point out, first of all, just burn wood in a fire pit.
Nothing else. We don't need anything else.
So much of this stuff is combustible. Yeah. You could inhale something that's not good for you.
Right.
I personally had an experience with my father where he put painted wood in, and we had a huge fire.
Oh, I bet.
So, yeah. So be careful. Use wood or logs that are actually produced for fires.
Right. And when you're starting these fires, I'm not so much of a naturist myself, but how do you kind of go about doing that? Can you use lighter fluid, or would you not suggest
No lighter fluid, nothing like gasoline or lighter fluid. There are so many great packets in starters on the market that will make it easy to start your fire, but also safer.
I was just going to say, easier and safer, can't really go wrong with that.
Nope, that's perfect.
When you're kind of going out and having these maybe bonfires, you definitely want to pay very close attention, make sure you're checking them right too.
Right. You don't want to leave a fire unattended, especially with kids and pets. You need an adult there at all times, keeping them away from the fire. We don't want someone to get hurt during this time.
Exactly. Good safety tip on that. And on top of that, safety tips, you definitely want to have something that you can extinguish that fire really easily with. What would you kind of suggest for that?
A wood fire, a bucket of sand.
Okay.
Will take the fire and put it out. A little bit of water or a fire extinguisher. Something if a fire gets out of control and you need to put it out fast.
Yeah, make sure it's very close by as well.
That's right.
What are kind of the differences between propane and wood burning fire pits? I see we have kind of an array here.
It depends on your personality. Propane is fast. You turn a button, it ignites, you have a fire. Wood has its own attributes. It smells great. It actually produces more heat than a propane fire.
Does it really?
Yes.
Very interesting.
So people with a big event like the flames of a wood fire pit, but it depends on your time frame and what you have, for the time that you have to
I prefer the aroma of a wood fire pit.
I do too.
But definitely propane is probably a little bit easier. Is there any fire restrictions that we kind of need to be aware of going through this season?
Not right now, because you blessed us with so much water this year.
I try my best.
So we don't have dry fields. When we get into a drought situation where things are very dry, they put restrictions on. And right now we have none, but always check. That could change.
Just wrapping back around to checking the forecast always. Very sound advice, I would say,
right.
Doug. And
yes.
Kind of wrapping around again, one last final safety tip. Never want to leave your kids or your pets unattended by those fires.
No, you never want to do that. if you're going to have kids and pets there, make sure you're sitting there and supervising. We don't need a trip to the hospital.
No, we do not. Any other quick tips or tricks you got about these?
I would say just get out and enjoy. It's the perfect time of the year. We're getting cooler, days are shorter, so plan a night for a fire pit, maybe some s'mores, and enjoy.
Sounds like a really great time. Thanks so much for joining us here today, Doug.
You can watch this episode and previous Owning Your Outdoors anytime on dakotanewsnow.com and the streaming platforms that you see on your screen.